That's the tagline for our show.
Okay. Meandering through the basketball universe.
It's True Scholars, Cold Loggers, meandering through the basketball universe.
It's not bad.
It's coming hard, coming fast. Ready your grill, your earballs.
Got to stay in peak form for this pod. Not as easy as it sounds.
It's not all just liquor and yelling.
It's mostly just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also sitting.
Undebeatable. We are undebeatable. We are undebeatable. We are undebeatable.
Now he puts the ball on the floor, driving on James. And he threw it down. That looked like Thor coming right down the middle of the lane with a thunder hammer.
Welcome, Pacer fans. You're listening to the Undebeatables, your weekly Pacer podcast. Today is March 9th, 2014, and this is episode 51. Coming from Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials and season ticket holder. Joining me are our three weekly analysts, coast to coast like buttered toast. Checking in from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is happening, Pacer fans? It seems like spring has sprung in the district, so that's good things. Bad things is the Pacers and their style of basketball lately. But I'm ready to vent and get this all out with you guys. Let's hash this out.
That's what we're here for.
Undebeatables only meeting right now.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? We lost an hour? We gained an hour? I don't know, but all I know is I got a bunch of people drunk last night and didn't sleep very much last night. So I'm ready to
take a nap,
get drunk myself, and deal with this new Pacer issue that's sitting on my chest, head,
And
knees.
Your back. We'll stop there.
It's compensatory.
Coming from Seattle, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What's going on, fellas? Definitely a tough week for us. Apparently, we're going to have to be extra coherent to make up for Colson. So,
isn't that always the
get
case?
our game face on.
Stay focused, buddy.
So there's 20 games left in the season, by my count.
Okay.
I think by most people's count, actually.
I don't. This is just. I don't want to speak for anyone else. But we've got a lot of stuff happened this year, right? Since the season started, as of late, Danny Granger, of course, traded away. Was definitely one of the leaders on the team. Sort of mentored a lot of the younger players. He gone. Evan Turner, you brought in, playing a lot of minutes. They've changed a lot of the lineups up because you got him in there. And
some point.
You got Lavoy Allen, who's not done. He's playing kind of garbage time right now. Not much of a change there, but definitely a personnel change with Orlando Johnson being gone. He was the young guy, the hype guy, fun to have around. Got the people's hyped. He's gone.
Yeah.
And we've got Bynum to integrate.
Bringing back Bynum.
So it's another change that's yet to even have started. And the Pacers are on their longest losing streak of the year, at 3 right now. I'm not terribly concerned. Some of the good teams are slumping right now. It's that time of the season where it's not close enough to the playoffs yet, where it's right on your doorstep. You've had a sort of a long season. The fun of the All-Star break is gone. You're just in this little lull.
So is that, Joey, do you think you're attributing it to there's been lots of changes lately and we're just trying to figure out how to integrate this? Or do you think it's something larger going on?
I don't know. I'm not terribly worried. I think there's probably some internal issues. Like I said, Granger's gone. Which a lot of the players were not happy about that. Bird makes it's those guys weren't involved in that decision. Larry Bird made that call. So there, you're working through that. The guy that was there every day is not there anymore. Because even when he wasn't playing, Granger was there, practicing with the team and helping those guys out. But so I think they've just got some stuff to work through.
You're making me way more nervous than I was like 2 minutes ago.
Why is that?
No, because for me, I'm sitting here going, okay, it's a long season. Every team goes through this. Like, at the end of last season, we got blown out by 20 points every game, and we still got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I feel like you can have lulls and still be a really good team. Now you're telling me maybe it's internal strife that we're all sort of like. There's actually like some like maybe core issues going on here. Now I'm getting really nervous because you talk about like, have they lost the focus? Are they no longer having fun because they're not playing with Danny and Orlando Johnson? Like, I mean, that makes me way more nervous than a lull in the middle of the season.
No. I'm just saying if you change some of the parts.
I wasn't gonna hit a panic button. Now I'm gonna do it.
You're hitting me.
I know.
No, I'm just saying you change some of the parts. They got to figure out how to play a little bit differently.
Where does David West rank on the NBA's list of all-time list of babies eaten?
Oh, he's number 1.
No. I think he's behind Bill Russell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
Bill
right.
Russell just ate a bunch of babies and nobody knew about it because before they kept that record.
Yeah, they didn't keep
that
this, they didn't keep
Before they kept baby
It's not an official stat.
So David West
Has
officially.
anybody gone back to look at the game film?
Yeah, David West officially is
isn't
number
it?
1, but unofficially Bill Russell.
Yeah, no, they have nowadays they got all these baby eating tracking cameras.
Right, exactly. So Milwaukee has been to the Eastern Conference semifinals more recently than the Knicks. Is that what you're telling me?
So the stats say.
That is brutal.
So if you're looking for good basketball, New York fans, move to Milwaukee.
So that's just winning a first round series.
Yeah. It's been 13 years since they won a first round series.
Oh my god.
I would feel bad for Knicks fans, but they're Knicks fans.
Yeah.
So suck it, New York.
Oh, there we go.
It's a small market. They can't help us.
I was reading the paper the other day, and Bird came out with this interview.
See, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Did any of the rest of you read this article?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you guys feel about this, because I got super fired up. It was crummy. It smacked of condescension, and I was really unhappy with it. And I think Bird's being a jerk. I think he needs to step off. I know the team's played poorly, but stop being a disappointed 1980s sitcom dad and freaking go talk to the coach or go talk to the team and don't go through the media. I thought it was bullshit. Thoughts?
I'll tell you this. Every time Bird has said something to the media about the team, they have come out and responded well. He was complaining about the turnovers, and the next game they had -5 turnovers. You remember that game?
Candace Buckner did a nice job on this. The article said that Paul George questioned the team's intelligence. He was talking about how the Knicks switch on defense, and we weren't smart enough to take advantage of that and move the ball. Stevenson also blamed the Knicks defense for creating an atmosphere of selfishness, which, I don't know. I guess if you have a mismatch on a slower guy or a smaller guy, maybe you want to take it yourself. But the Roy Hibbert was not happy about the loss. And what I thought was most interesting is that David West was convinced that we just didn't move the ball appropriately. And the next game we came out and had 27 assists on 34 shots. So whoever is concerned about stuff, David West's concerns resonate the most because he eats babies. That's kind of my theory on this. But yeah, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of people talking to the media about how they were not happy.
So I want to say first that it's really, really unselfish of Lance to blame the Knicks for our selfishness. I thought that was a very classy move on his part.
That's right.
The one thing I am concerned about in this is exactly what Larry Bird was talking about. was when we started pointing fingers in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like we responded very well to it, but it was an explicit point that he made. He's, you don't worry until people start pointing fingers. And it seemed like maybe there was some finger pointing going on.
That all being said, this was a totally winnable game for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Coming down the stretch, I think the Pacers were down 3, and Lance Stevenson makes a steal and is coming down the court on a 3-on-1 and decides to do a no-look underhanded pass to George Hill, who's waiting in the corner for his patented corner 3.
Oh, was that supposed to go to George Hill?
And the ball just sails into the 5th row.
To be fair, if George Hill was in the 5th row, that would have been money.
There was a guy up there who looked just like him.
Yeah.
Wide open out there.
And then Friday, Pacers travel to America's Hat in Toronto, Canada. Play the Raptors.
And the Yinkadari Cup winner, Tyler Hansbrough.
Exactly. Well, at that game, Jan Mahinmi, in a special ceremony after the first quarter, is going to pass the trophy over to Tyler. So tune in for that, Pacer fans.
Well, the problem is, though, it's probably going to be a bad pass. So the next night, Monday, March 31st, versus the San Antonio Spurs in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The league's best team visited, and they extended their win streak to 18, rolling, lighting, and then smoking the Pacers. 77-103 was the plus minuses. Of the 5 starters, only Roy Hibbert was positive at all. He was +3. George Hill was -10. Jan Mahinmi was -17 somehow.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, Joe, the entire team was negative except for Roy Hibbert. So.
Yeah. Congratulations, Roy.
Oh, yeah, go ahead whenever you want. That's the sound of the not all that fast break.
Well, there were no games of basketball this week.
Yay!
Nothing to talk about.
Moving on. 3 games from the schedule. The first, Sunday, April 6th, versus the Atlanta Hawks in the Silent Life Fieldhouse. Indiana started their work week with the worst half of basketball a Pacers team has ever produced. And this was in front of a sellout crowd. And the Gold Swaggers were shredded 88-107. It was the first half that was so bad where the Blue Collars put up 23 points. The starters were pulled with 6:05 left in the first quarter, and the score was 17-3. The bench replaced them, and they left the team down 33-11 at the end of the first quarter. Roy Hibbert had one more shift in the cards before he was benched and ended the night 0-5 from the floor, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 turnover, and -19 on the plus minus. That was in 9 minutes of work. John, you were there at the game, and actually, this was my gift to you.
This is my birthday present.
Happy birthday, Colson.
I've never seen someone so angry at a gift before.
You were so mean to me.
Yeah, so Harper, we had a brief discussion last week about whether or not one should boo their home team.
Yes.
And
yes, we did.
we sort of disagreed at some level. I felt you could, as long as it was coming from a place of love.
Right.
So if your team scores 23 points in a half, is then it okay to boo your team?
My first note on this game is you can boo that.
Okay. I'm glad we established where the bar was.
Yeah, it is way above this.
Yeah, this was just pitiful.
This is brutal.
I wrote a text during this game at halftime, and it said, 1 assist at halftime. They don't trust each other, and they're afraid to make mistakes because the crowd is all over them. Missing free throws enrages us. We're eating our own. On some level, the problem with booing your team is we were passing up open jumpers because people were afraid to miss. I mean, it was we were so all over these guys that they seemed nervous to play the game, and so there is a downside of booing. Yes, it's show us a good product. We pay good money to be here. We just want to see effort. We don't care if you miss shots. We just want to see effort. but they seem to completely recoil from the responsibility of trying to save that game. Every single one of them, to a man, seem to crumble under our booze.
Yeah, totally understand that. But at the same time, what is this now? 3 consecutive home games? Where they just got demolished? No, I guess it was 2.
Yeah, the San Antonio game.
Yeah, and then they beat Detroit. So.
Which Joey also took me to, so thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Maybe,
You're on my list.
How about you stop going to games?
Maybe that's the problem.
The other problem for me is that there's only one home game left. It's against Oklahoma City tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's fan appreciation night.
Are you going?
I guess so. The fan appreciation night's fine because you can go down on the floor and they give you stuff. You know, they take all their shoes and they sign them and throw them into the crowd. And
Are you wrestling small children for shoes?
not for long, you know.
They're small. It's easy to take them.
Exactly. But I don't want to. Maybe I'll just show up at like the end of the fourth or something because maybe I don't want to watch 4 quarters of them getting blown out at home. I don't know. I'll be there. We'll be there on time. But I'm cranky about it.
You know, I think Vogel's in a position where he can't be that guy anymore. He can't be that cheerleader anymore. These guys need another level of psychological
Help?
Yeah, well, there's some
Warfare?
Vogel needs a different strategy to take these guys to the next level, I think.
Yeah. I feel like there's still a chance to save this. We were so good that I know we can be that good again, and it could be that we're just waiting for the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying not to. I mean, I know we're hitting panic buttons everywhere, but I'm trying to stay rational about this. I'm trying to keep hopeful until we're swept in the first round of the playoffs. But
no, in fact, I would say that I had this realization this morning as I was riding my bike to work that I am a true fan because I still have hope.
yeah,
And it's a completely irrational hope. I don't think you're thinking rationally at all. A rational person would look at this team and say,
they're
"All right,
done.
it's over.
Stick a fork in them."
I'm going to schedule my vacation early, and then
There are only 5 teams that have had the number 1 seed at January 1st and then put up this kind of low percentage of winning percentage in the second half of the season in the history of the game. And all but one of them were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So, welcome to that stat.
shout out.
That's all true, and this is, I'm sure, the irrational super fan in me. But the reason that we watch sports is because we know anything can happen. The vagaries and vicissitudes of sports are what keep us interested, right? And all this could turn on a dime, and we're playing A+ basketball 3 games into the first round. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's why you keep watching.
That's why you watch those, you know. That's why I don't turn those games off when they're down.
Yeah.
You know,
You never know.
25 points, you know.
never know.
I've seen Reggie Miller do some shit, man.
That's right. But this week we got to talk about
The Undebeat Awards.
Undebeat Awards.
We do have one of our awards to hand out, I think. As I've called them, the Undebeat Awards. We'll just make everybody else a winner.
So every year, the pundits hand out their awards, and we're no different.
That's right.
But we're better. So I guess we're different.
You can actually get on the blog and see how we did last year.
It's to see how the other pundits did.
Right, because we were right. And they were right on most of them. They missed a couple. But this year we'd like to go through the awards, the NBA awards, and choose our favorites, who we think's going to win or who we think should win.
Who does win the Undebeat Awards?
No, who they think will win the NBA awards. They will win our Undebeat Awards. We'll send them a crappy trophy and an unmarked package.
Glitter.
With glitter.
You got a lot of glitter at your house.
Puffy paint and glitter. That's how Colson rolls.
That's right.
Glad I bought stock in Michaels.
So, are we going with Taj Gibson, I think, probably?
I'm voting for Ginobili.
You can't make all these split votes. I'm sorry.
He's going all Spurs. The Undebeat Awards are all Spurs this year.
So who are you, Colson? Who are your Ginobili is at the top of your ballot?
No, I'm gonna go with Gibson. I'm okay with that.
If you get three people vote for one player, then you win.
Yeah, you're right. That's trtrue. So you don't get anything then. We're supposed to come to a consensus.
It's a vote.
We're supposed to come to a consensus. It's like we're Quakers. We'll just think about it and pray about it and
drink,
meditate on it.
And drink while we do it.
Yeah, and then we all come to a consensus or we stay in the room.
And then we'll have some oatmeal.
Jason, what are you on this week?
I'm still with Red Hook Brewery, but I moved on to the ESB.
Did you get a variety pack?
I did.
I like those.
So yeah, there's the ESB in there, the Audible Ale, which I drank last week, and then the Long Hammer.
There's one other one, too. They have a winter ale in there, generally.
Not in the one that I got.
Oh, okay.
I got gypped.
Maybe it's special for me.
Colson,
Sorry, apologies to the gypsy community.
I'm very sensitive to the gypsy community, man. They get a bad rap.
They listen to a lot of podcasts, too, so we want
They
to keep
do.
them happy.
Don't want to lose that demographic. I mean, Hibbert. So we gave Hibbert Bird in this game. I don't know, to help build his confidence, and he goes 1 of 7. Like I don't. Like,
Against Dwayne Dedman.
against Stedman. I mean, it's just. Vogel's idea was, oh hey, the guys that need rhythm right now are Hibbert and Hill, so we'll play those guys and we'll rest the other guys. And they both just had shitty games, and I'm like, I don't know if this helped their confidence.
I think his thought process was it can't get any worse.
If you go 1 of 7 against Stedman, it might have gotten worse. That's all I'm saying. Oh God.
Poor Hibbs.
So the season ends mercifully for Hibbert.
I don't know how merciful that was, but okay.
At least it's over.
Now here's this big, bright playoff spotlight right on your grill, right?
So that ends the regular season.
First place!
Yeah, number one
One
seed.
seed, baby.
Number 1 seed. So they pick up
That's a huge deal. It
It
really
is a
is. That
huge
was our stated goal at the beginning of the year. We got it. Even if we backed into it, we got it.
even if that's the only thing they get. They got it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
56 wins.
I will not.
It's nothing.
Yeah, 56 wins.
Yeah, what is that, the third most or something like that?
It's the third. I know it's the third time in Pacers history they've got the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So good on you, Pacers, for much of the season. We're
Okay.
number 1. Nothing can go wrong from here.
Rejoice, Pacer Nation. It is at long last time for the NBA playoffs. And your Pacers road to the NBA Finals.
So playoffs started.
Yeah.
That's right.
Playoff, bitches.
Saturday, April 19th, versus Atlanta at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The rejuvenated Pacers start the playoffs brandishing their number 1 seed against the lowly Hawks. Now, they played like the team that realizes that this is an elimination-style tournament, and they slapped the Pacers with a loss 93-101 in front of 18,165 fans at home. Now, it took Connie, friend of the show, to the game. The wife was unavailable. To Connie, and basically by the end, she just was consoling me, telling me, there's still time, but I knew.
Joey's in the fetal position, crying.
This was rough.
Well,
Oh, God.
this is a tough one.
But, they've talked for so long about winning the fans back, since the brawl. Slowly, we had 28 sellouts this year, compared to like 8 the year before. You really felt like the city was coming back and ready to support these Pacers, and now we're just showing up and booing them. It's just crazy.
The trepidation that fans and that I feel personally is classically conditioned by this team. This is the position that they put us in, right? I don't think that they're getting booed when they make unintelligent or bad basketball plays. What they're really getting booed for, and what they should be getting booed for, to the extent that they should get booed at all, is laziness.
Yep.
The crowd will respond when we want it more. When the players want it more, then the crowd will respond to that.
You got to remember, at the end of the day, it's Indiana basketball fans, and they know basketball.
They're smart.
They're smart. They know when you're playing hard and you're giving effort and you're doing the right things. And when they don't see that, that frustrates the hell out of them. And they're not seeing it right now.
Shout out to Candace Buckner. She does great coverage all the time. She tweeted out after the game that there were serious closed doors team meetings, and then she said, rinse and repeat.
That's funny and not funny at the same time.
There have been
After every game, we have a post, a big team meeting.
It's like they're in corporate America. And just, let's have a meeting about this. We'll discuss it. And then nothing will change.
You see David West in there with the PowerPoint, this clicker.
And a frown.
And definitely a frown.
Joey, stat of the week.
So this is dealing with the Indiana regular season, but they became just the second NBA team to improve by at least 5 victories in 4 straight years, according to information from Stats. Pacers finished the 2009-2010 season with 32 wins, and they followed it up with 37, 42, 49, and then 56 wins. So at least 5 every year. So next year, guaranteed 61 wins. The other team that did it was the 65-70 New York Knicks, and they won the 1970 NBA championship after winning 60 games. So next year, it's a lock.
Well, no, I think that's this year, right?
No, it's next year. Oh. You've seen this team play, right?
You're the stats guy.
Listen, it's just numbers. Numbers don't lie. This is a great long-term, semi-long-term. What do you call them?
Oh, man.
I can't work like this.
The crowd is turning on Joey. This is not the time.
Right, one mistake, we're gonna boo you.
All you boo birds. I'm afraid to say anything now.
Maybe we should just move on to the next topic.
You're saying that was it's good long-term growth trajectory.
It's an achievement.
Yeah.
Good long-term growth.
It's hard to work under these conditions, though. You can see how that might affect your game.
Yeah. Now I'm sad. So I'm drinking this week Miller Lite in the throwback cans.
I am enjoying the champagne of beers, the Miller High Life.
Ooh, Miller High Life. Sexy.
Out of the 16-ounce can. I got a tall boy here.
You found my tall boys. Huh?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting second half. Strap in.
Jason, what's good on the East Coast?
I'm also drinking the High Life.
Ooh, Miller High Life. Sexy.
The champagne.
Yeah.
Harper, what are you drinking out west?
Well, I didn't get the memo on the High Life this week, so
Only Miller products.
I'm drinking Pyramid's Thunderhead IPA.
We all got sponsored except for you. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
This was the week they were listening for who was drinking Miller products.
Not referring to Reggie Miller, of course.
Whatever.
You know what? Hey,
Whatever.
If he wants to pay, I'm fine with that.
This checks cash the same, buddy. We got a new segment. It's called 2 Minutes to Wah. We made it up ourselves.
Is it 1 minute?
No, it's not. So this goes back to Reb Porter, old Pacer PA announcer. He used to say, when there was 2 minutes left, he'd say, 2 minutes to And now that Michael Grady has taken over, he sort of sets up the crowd. He says, 2 minutes. And then the crowd chants to...
we know what to do.
Yeah, in honor of Reb, and I think it's great. It's really cool.
Something you're only going to get at the field house.
That's right.
And now we're bringing it here to the internet.
So now you're not just getting it on the field house, you're getting it here too.
The question for this week is, will Frank Vogel lose his job if the Pacers don't get out of the first round? Discuss.
I think yes, and I think it's ridiculous. I think that he has done amazing work for us. You know, his smash mouth and smash math, and embracing the analytics while still being big in a league that went small. He's positivity. All these things have created a culture here, and I think the expectations are such that Bird will have to cut somebody, and it's probably going to be Vogel and not a player, and it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Oh,
he's going to blow up that roster. Because clearly he made moves that busted up the chemistry, and he's going to get rid of those people. Lance Stevenson is out. Lance Stevenson's going to be the fall guy for all of this. Is what I think.
That Lance is Bird's boy, way more than Vogel.
Yeah, but everybody hates Lance. So.
My concern is that I think that Coulson is right, and that even though he should be the fall guy for this on some level, he won't be because Bird has a man crush on him. I think that the most reasonable course of action would be to fire the assistants. I think that Vogel should stay. They need to get a Brian Shaw hammer type back in there to back up Dan Burke.
And an offensive genius.
I want to go to the triangle. That's my new thing. Let's do the freaking triangle.
I want to go to some sort of offense. Any offense. It doesn't matter. Just pick an offense. Any offense.
Princeton.
Stanford.
Anything.
The quasi-Princeton.
But my fear is that Bird does both. He fires Vogel and destroys and blows up the team. That's my fear.
That would be a bad thing. The thing is, Vogel has done nothing wrong. Vogel took his team to the Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals and then led them to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then they kind of flamed out.
As much as I want to
time
keep...
there, buddies. I know.
Tua!
Jason got the last word.
I was getting to my point.
Jason got...
I hate this segment.
Jason got the last word in, so he won.
Is there a winner on the 2 minutes?
Yes, there is.
Oh.
There is now. Triplet 1-0.
You know, we'd spent all this time before the series talking about, well, there was a lot of paranoia, perhaps, about the Macedonian rookie and his three-point shooting ability. And despite the fact that really did give us some trouble and made it so that Hibbert couldn't really see the floor because of his floor spacing, he missed his last 15 three-pointers. So, Pero Antic. I'm thinking more like zero Antic. Yeah. He did not really provide the advantage that they thought he would.
Cut his mic.
Nice.
Change language, change perception, change reality.
Why are you pointing at me? Thursday, May 1st, in Atlanta, Phillips Arena. The Pacers were down 3-2, as we've discussed. So this was an elimination game. With their backs against the wall, Indiana pulled out a gutsy win in the Fortress, 95-88. David West decided an early vacation was unacceptable, and he chose to win this game. With his late game play, along with Paul George, helped Indy pull away in this nail-biter, sending the series back to Naptown. Colson, how did you watch the game?
One day more. Another day, another destiny. This never-ending road to Calvary. These men who seem to know my crime will surely come a second time. One day more. I actually was at Les Mis during an elimination game. And my goal was to not find out this.
Is that all the sad Pacer fans that just hang out
at an opera called Les Miserables?
Yeah. And it was actually, I was hoping that, I could get home without hearing the score, but at halftime, in the bathroom, everybody's like yelling the halftime score. Like people like
it's
shouting.
Called intermission.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Intermission at the game. It was also at the same time halftime at the Pacer game. And so I kind of we were up 6, I think, during the pee break. That's what we call it there in the biz. and then at the end of the game we won by 6, and I was like, oh, nice easy victory. We're probably up 6-8 the whole game. I then came directly over to Joey's house and watched the second half with him. I had no idea that we were down by 5 with 3 minutes left. I was panicking watching the replay. I'm glad that I wasn't a part of it live. It was probably better for my heart.
It was an ugly scene here at the house. I mean, my aunt was unable to watch free throws at the end of the game. She's like, covering her eyes. Just tell me what happens. I can't watch.
Wow.
Connie was getting nervous, so she stood up, and Catherine made her sit back down because that's what she was doing earlier when they were doing well. Very superstitious.
Yeah, we did just enough to win.
Just enough to win. It was so much closer than the score.
Woo. Well, that means, yeah.
I wasn't even happy. I was just relieved.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what that means, though? It's Game 7, baby.
Game 7, baby!
It's May 3rd, Saturday, in Bunkers Light Fieldhouse. Indiana had never, in their history, hosted a Game 7 at home, let alone won one. And they wandered into uncharted territory, and they took what was rightfully theirs, 92-80. The Hawks were sent packing with only broken dreams and high draft picks. This win pushes Indy to the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Washington Wizards. This game was fun.
How great was this?
We were there. Good win with Catherine last night. The crowd was really on edge.
This was not fun for me.
No, this was fun for us. I'll tell you what happened to me was I realized this after game 1 was the game 6 from the Atlanta series. It was a nail biter. Pacers come out of victorious.
I hated that game.
No, I did too. And I was nervous the whole time. Game 7, I wasn't comfortable until the game was over. So 2 straight games of just like high energy, high emotion, as many emotions as I can feel,
right,
as a man.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anger and remorse.
Right. I did want to come back from the break and read a little line from a Grantland article about
this was sent in from listener Envy Aus.
The mailbag.
Shout out. Yeah.
Shout out.
But this is great. He's talking about kind of where the Pacers have been with their struggles. It says they've become a traveling context for awful, unfounded internet rumors of the George Hill slept with Hibbert's wife / girlfriend / fiance / manicurist / sandwich artist variety. Rumors whose truth or falsehood matters less than the sheer fact that someone could look at this team and think, yep, that's the most logical explanation. Obviously, fights and disagreements and personal issues flare up on good NBA teams too, but when people watch you play basketball and go, huh, must be some catastrophic psychosexual backstory here, you have some problems you should probably address. I really felt like that encapsulated where we've been as a fan base, kind of watching this team going, I'm grasping for straws. What is wrong? Why won't they just figure it out?
I don't know. You said sandwich artist, and now I'm kind of hungry.
I'm still going to stick with Spurs in 7. I think it's going to be a great series. Mm-hmm. But the Spurs are a buzzsaw. They're a scalpel. They're everything that's just tears through stuff.
It's like a chainsaw through a shark.
Yes, Sharknado-tastic.
We may have spent a large portion of UndebeataCon watching Sharknado and Godzilla movies.
Yes.
And Mecha Shark versus Mega Shark.
Got Mothra in 7.
So I have a question. I want to say something.
Let's get these chicken sandwiches to go.
This is my favorite time of year. I love this stuff, and it was just absolutely agonizing. God.
And not in the usual way of agonizing, right? Usually it's agonizing because you're like, oh, we're not that good, but we're scrappy, we're fighting hard.
Right. That team's
maybe we
better.
can pull off this upset. This was like just watching your kid with great potential, failing out of school and like skipping classes continually. And you're like, you idiot, go to class and, do your job.
I love you, Mom and Dad.
Shout out.
That was not meant to be directed at you, Joey. Sorry. What I'm saying is I'm disappointed in you.
On that note,
It's really hard to find a legitimate center in this league. That has to be your core going forward. Paul George and Roy Hibbert. Everything around that is worth tweaking.
we don't know that Roy Hibbert isn't Sisyphus, right? So we're going to build him back up. He's going to get to the top of the hill. He's going to get hit by the boulder and go right back down to the bottom again. I mean, this could be his career trajectory. We don't know.
Sure.
That leads us to Game 5. This was Wednesday, May 28th. Back at home in Bunker's Life. This game was weird. That's all I can say. I actually got more to say. George erupted for 37, 21 in the fourth alone, and they hung on to win 93-90. I got a couple things to say about this. Paul George, massive.
It's a good thing we have a podcast.
Everybody's seen this a bunch. Lance Stevenson blows into LeBron James's ear, which is just annoying and whatever. It's funny. And it led to the hashtag Lancing, which I love. If you put that into your Twitter, you will see so much good stuff. Blowing into Nintendo cartridges, blowing out birthday cakes. Jason, you and I, we both like the one where he was joined the Friends cast at an ice cream social. Internet had fun with this in 24 hours. It was a wonderful time to be on the internet. Speaking of Game 6, I watched that last night.
Did you?
I did. Friday, May 30th at the American Airlines Arena. I'll tell you what, man. Indiana opened with a 9-2 lead, and they looked great. Moving the ball well. They were picking apart the Miami defense, defending nearly perfectly. And then the season was over.
That was the first 3 minutes of the game.
Miami went on an 11-0 run, and it was never close again.
There was a sequence where it was the best ball movement I've ever seen by the Pacers. It was Spurs-esque. They just kept passing the ball around to the even more open player. And everybody touched the ball. And eventually ends up in Paul George's hand wide open for the three. Everybody in Indiana's raising their arms, ready for it to go in. I was ready to yell, boop. And instead...
Is that the official call from Colson?
That's the call.
That's your answer to the boom baby.
That's right. And so instead, Paul George dribbles into traffic and throws the ball to a guarded David West, and there's a shot clock violation. And I was like, what is wrong? Why can't we get, oh, God. Unbelievable. It was just the series in a nutshell.
Yes.
Maybe this season.
Maybe this season, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is just an extension of the fact that the Pacers lost their fight.
Yeah.
Somewhere in mid-February, the Pacers lost their fight. And that was the one thing that they had going for them. They're a team that's built on heart and a little bit of talent, right? You know, Paul George is a great talent. David West has skills. But mostly that team was going to succeed if they outplayed the other team. If they emphasized more of the blue-collar side of things than the gold swagger side of things. And somewhere along the way, it flipped.
I mean, they wanted to be Showtime and not the bad boys, right? And that's not this team's identity.
Bringing up Sisyphus.
Did you guys watch this game at all?
Yes.
No, I'm I'm huddled in the corner in my Snuggie.
Okay, fair enough.
You surrounded yourself with your pain.
Just a blanket of pain.
A Snuggie of pain.
That way you can get your arms out to use the remote.
Paul George has been kicking butt this summer, playing for the U.S. men's national basketball team, and was going to be a centerpiece, kind of. Probably a starter on this team that's going to play in the World Cup here in a month. And then last night in a scrimmage, an intra-squad scrimmage, was going for a chase down block on James Harden, I believe. Keeps up for the block, doesn't get it, fouls, but in the process afterwards, runs into the stanchion of the basket and basically snaps his tibia and fibula. Sounds like it's a compound fracture. Surgery went well, but he's likely out at least 6 months is what I'm hearing. So let's just go immediate reacts. What was your did you see this live?
No, I didn't see it live. So I started getting texts before this was up on YouTube, before it was on ESPN, pretty much immediately. But I wasn't watching the game. I'd just gotten home from work. So I immediately went and tried to seek this thing out. I watched it so that other people don't have to.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to watch it, and yeah, it's ugly. I mean, think Kevin Ware last year, think Joe Theismann. It's that kind of injury, and it's that tough to watch. The most common recovery time, I think, is normally like 9 to 12 months. He is kind of a freak of nature, so you never know. It could be better than that, but I think it was between 4 and 5 months before Kevin Ware was walking without a boot.
Walking. That's
Yeah,
just crazy.
walking.
It's interesting to me that people immediately went for the his career is over thing, right? And I think even in some of the texts that we were exchanging, like the idea that he was definitely going to miss the next season was a guarantee, which it seems like it will be. But even I at the time was like, it's a broken bone. It doesn't. First of all, we know no information. Second of all, it's a broken bone. Like those things, it's not like an ACL, you know.
Well, right. So, but I think it was the horrific visuals. I mean,
it was the gruesomeness of it.
The gruesomeness of it. You just go, oh, who knows? You know, at the time, you don't know any information. You know, I mean, it could have ripped up everything in his leg.
Yeah.
You know, now they're saying it was a clean break, that no tissue damage, no artery, whatever. You know, it was broke cleanly. You know, if you're gonna do this. This is the best way to do it, so he should be able to recover fully and have no, long-term career damage is what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. That there's the silver lining, which I talked about with Harper yesterday a little bit, is that there's no ancillary damage. Is the buzzword that's going around, and no soft tissue damage, and that the surgery went well. Emotionally, it reminded me a lot of the brawl.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. It felt the same way to me in the sense that it felt like the landscape had utterly changed overnight in a way that hadn't felt that way since the brawl.
Right. I mean, it's not franchise crippling the way in which the brawl was franchise crippling.
Sure.
I think.
If George can't recover, it is.
Well, right. If his career is over, then yes, it is. It could be a franchise crippling thing. I tend to think that that's not the case, but maybe I'm in the bargaining stage, and that's where I'm at.
It does change things a lot, I think, as far as your window, though. I mean, this year there was a wide open window in the East. The team that had stood in our way, the Miami Heat, broken up, and we had a real good chance, even with losing Lance, a real good chance to come out of the East. And, those windows are brief, right. Those opportunities are rare. And so to lose George this year is particularly painful.
I went to a internet cat video movie this afternoon, which is as much as that sounds fun, it's about 20 or 30 minutes too long when you're watching internet cat videos.
Meaning it's 25 or 35 minutes?
So I'm glad to be here, guys.
And cat hater coming to you from Seattle, Washington, out west. Our enforcer, John Harper.
I don't hate cats, for the record. It's baby seals that I hate.
Oh.
Want to have the most fun you've ever had watching a game show?
Then let's play Where That Player At.
The gong's my favorite part. So let's start this game out with Harper. Harper, do you know where Andrew Bynum is going to play in the NBA next year?
Nowhere?
The correct answer is he's sleeping on my couch.
You got a much bigger couch than me.
After the break, we'll find out the winner of Where That Player At.
I can see it.
Don't tell.
Let's take a break. We'll be back in a few.
Good morning to the rising sons and daughters. I climbed into a fortress on the outskirts of insanity. Bloody knuckles and muddy puddles placed upon a martyr. No casualty is easy for the mother earth of humanity. Demanding clean water for the sinners and the fathers, and the children with their father's sins piled at the altar. Falling scars leave a star, so she was crying when I called her. I ain't really know what to say. And we both been drinking all this whiskey in the cupboard, and the glass is just there, sitting somber like the cupboard. And your thoughts are stripped down, bare naked like the cupboard. Then you strip yourself down, bare naked like the others. And I love it, but wasn't really prepared for the summit up the coldest soul excursion that I think I've ever fucking been on. Some days when crowded, you can't help but feel alone. Hell, I mean even amongst a large group of my fam, sometimes it's hard to put your head out of the trenches of sand. Bitch, pressing my fear and guilt up to the heavens of man. Sacrifice it all for me, sacrifice it all. Like I never wanted it. Fears only attached to my shadow, cause I never confronted them. The butt of my own joke, the butt of my cigarette smoke down to the filter, cause thoughts wander so close to the edge, nailed to the wall, stuck in the frame, but abandoned by sceneries in the photo. I never thought the shift would feel right, but now I know what it feel like. I think we got it all straight. I think we got it all straight in the year of the snake. I think I turned out okay. I think I turned out okay in the year of the snake.
I know you all have been waiting for the conclusion of Where That Player At with an award ceremony. 2014 winner of the Where That Player At, Joey in third place.
What?
Joey thought he was a back-to-back.
Yeah, he did.
And tied for first place, Harper and Jason. However, because I make arbitrary rules, Harper studied. And so he is the winner of this year's...
Harper wins the push.
Wins the push.
I'm also way fatter, so I would literally win that push.
Also, I got 2 softballs.
So I don't want to hear from Undefeated Nation that Jason got jobbed this year. All right, even though I did just arbitrarily choose Harper. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, he got jobbed a little bit again.
He might have been gotten jobbed 2 years in a row. We'll see.
All right. So, Jason, you got 41 even. Johnny got us a game over 500 to 42.
Yep.
Joey Gaffrida, what's your number?
Eternally an optimist.
Go big or go home.
Season ticket holder.
42 and a half.
No.
I mean, I think they could pull, if you need an actual number. No imaginary numbers.
No.
Undefined is no good.
43I.
No square roots of negative numbers.
You know, I think they could do 45. Like, I think that the chord is still good.
Freaking Rodney Stuckey, who I'm so mad at right now. I don't know. I'm so
Why are you mad at
irrationally
him?
angry at Rodney Stuckey. We'll revisit this pod halfway through the
Because
season.
they
when
offered
he's
him a
my favorite
contract
player.
and he signed it?
I hate that dude. I don't know why.
Why?
But I don't know. I've never liked him.
It's because he played in Detroit.
And no, it's because they signed him to be the franchise saver starting point guard, and he couldn't pass the rock, and they paid him a bunch of money, and he slowly sunk into obscurity on their team. And now we're like, oh hey, he'll be great on our team.
But
no,
John, this is your favorite story. This
gave
is a
him the-
redemption story.
they gave him the car keys to their franchise, and he shit the bed. And now he's supposed to come to my franchise and be better. No,
I love your metaphors so much.
They gave him the car keys to the zoo.
He drove straight into the bedroom and he took a big dump. It was crazy.
So okay, they gave him the car keys to the
I guess that
franchise, and he
part-
drove
that part
into a
was it.
wall. I don't know.
That part was implied.
Yeah, it didn't go well. That's all I'm saying.
I have good news.
Oh, good news.
I have good news.
Good.
The Pacers family just got a little bit bigger.
Oh. Do we hire someone? Do we?
Probably. What I'm talking about, it's love, baby. Roy Hibbert married his fiancée, as well as Lavoy Allen.
Wait,
so we got two more.
So Roy Hibbert has two marriages. Roy Hibbert married
Congratulations,
Lavoy Allen.
Roy.
He married Lavoy Allen and his fiancée?
Well, it was luckily in 3 days or so in Indiana. No, it was they got married to their respective sweethearts.
Yes.
Congratulations, Roy Hibbert, Lavoy Allen, getting married. They've joined the club that I'm in.
That's right. It's an exclusive club that the rest of the Undebeatables know nothing about.
I'll probably see him up at the married people meetings.
Yeah, you'll do the secret handshake and when you see him at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this is just a reminder, Undebeata Nation, very eligible Undebeata analysts out there. If you'd like to tweet, Facebook, whatever you want to do.
You're a terrible wingman.
Yeah, if you're anywhere in the DMV, my Wednesdays are pretty open. So let's go.
We should take a break.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Oh boy, you are not in regular season form yet.
Brooke Olzendam.
Oh,
she gone.
Oh my God, my heart is broken.
Brooke,
I don't know.
Listen, Brooke.
What?
You're the best.
What are they doing?
Holler at me. If you're moving to DC, my Wednesdays are free, as mentioned earlier.
No, Jason, I think available right now. If you want to make her the 5th Undebeatable, I think this is.
We should definitely try to get
her
on
a
the
job
pod.
now.
We would make room.
We don't even need a resume, Brooke. Just come on by.
No. We've all seen your.
We don't even need you to fill out a W-4 or 9, whatever the thing is.
2?
Because we don't pay.
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
But you can crash on Jason's couch.
And she's short enough to fit, unlike some of your previous guests.
True.
Like Hibbert.
Was it Hibbert?
No, it was Bynum.
Bynum. Oh, it was Bynum.
So I have a couch big enough for Bynum now. I got a new couch.
Yeah, Brooke Olsen. So somehow Fox Sports decided that getting rid of the best sideline reporter we've had in years.
Potentially one of the best in the NBA. Like, she's good.
She's good. She's really good.
She knows her shit.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Provides
Always had a smile on her
actual decent insight.
Right.
Understands
Not just
basketball.
a pretty face.
Yeah.
Although also a pretty face.
Right.
Yeah.
To be replaced by a random white guy. What is his name? Jeremiah was a bullfrog?
Yeah. It's Jeremiah Johnson.
Okay.
He's not actually a random white guy.
He is.
I mean,
he is kind of a random white guy, though, right?
He grew up in Indiana.
I grew up in Indiana. Congratulations.
He worked for Fox 59 for a while, doing like the high school football and Friday night
He worked
reports
on the Big
and stuff.
Ten Network.
I mean, he's more qualified than I am, but
yeah, whatever.
Not enthused. Not enthused, Fox Sports News.
Well, so here's the fun part about Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson is the name of a film, a Western with Robert Redford in it. And it's based on the book called Crow Killer, the saga of Liver Eating Johnson.
Right.
So there's a ton of stuff to work there with. I think Jeremiah is now going to be called Crow Killer, at least in my mind. Or maybe Liver Eating Johnson. I can't decide yet.
I like Bullfrog.
Bullfrog? All right. Well, that works too.
That was definitely the most dramatic saga since the Iliad, I think.
Yeah.
Joey, stat of the week.
This week, my stat is number of points dropped by Meta World Peace while wearing his panda shoes. The number is 19. 19 points in his preseason opener here. It was, inter-squad scrimmage. But I think the important thing is he's wearing Panda sneakers. They look like regular basketball shoes, except there's 2 detachable panda bears on his feet.
They have little arms, too.
Arms.
Yeah. They're detachable heads.
Yeah. And he wore them for the whole game. And dropped 19 points in 12 minutes.
That's pandemonium.
It's got to be the shoes.
You've been sitting on that
So
for a year.
that sounds like that would violate the NBA's dress code, I think, right?
Well, he's in China, so that works out.
Whoa.
I think there was no enthusiasm there.
We're saving it all for the show.
All right, well, I'm saving all mine for drinking. And I'm drinking a Moosehead.
I am also drinking a Moosehead, proudly independent Moosehead lager.
The only green bottle beer that you like.
That I enjoy. I'm also drinking a little Evan Williams, not Evan Turner, but Evan Williams on the rocks.
Oh man, guys, come on! Now, could you give me a definition, the Urban Dictionary definition of Moosehead? Is that a thing? It's not a.
We'll have to look that up, and I'm sure it's.
I will look that up. I'm sure it's a thing too.
Jason, what are you drinking out east?
Well, I'm drinking a Wheeze Ale from the Maine Beer Company, which I had never heard of. Apparently, this brewery. Let's see. This beer is dedicated to all the stray cats out there. It literally is. So part of their profits go to funding a shelter for stray cats in Maine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And it's a good beer. I enjoy it. Tasty to my palate.
There it is.
Harper, what are you drinking out west?
I today have Elysian Space Dust IPA.
Whoa.
Yeah, fancy.
That looks like a big bottle, too.
Go big or go home, buddy.
Space is a big place, man.
Just a real quick update on Moosehead.
I don't know if I want to know this.
Yeah, it's the same as Roadhead, but it comes from the back seat.
I was shaking my head no, so you wouldn't read that.
Oh, that's great.
That's not real. You made that up.
No, that's what it says.
I think you should say to the listeners, go look it up. If you feel so inclined and you're over 18 and not religious.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness. Blatt seems like he knows what he's doing, but he hasn't dealt with the specifics of the NBA. But
yeah,
hey, LeBron, what should we do next?
He went to Princeton.
He's Russian, though, right?
No, he's
I thought Blatt was Russian.
No, but do your thing.
No, he coached in Russia.
Yeah.
Did he pick up the accent while he was there?
You think so? Yeah, go for it.
That might be what it was.
Yeah, go for it.
No, we're good.
It brings up the question of whether or not the Pacers should be trying to fight and claw and make the playoffs, or should David West have frequent ankle twists, and not actual ankle twists, but he's out with a bad back or something like that.
Sprained pinky.
Right. DNP.
Old.
Yeah, rest. DNP rest. And tank it and try to get a good high draft pick.
You know, certain teams have made that work. San Antonio is a good example of a team that's made it work. But then you've got other teams who've tried it. Philadelphia and some other teams. Cleveland did it, but the reason they're good is not because of their strategy.
Yeah, but we've already got a franchise player to build around, right? We already have Paul George.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Stevenson because he's gone.
Sorry, Joey. That hit you where it hurts, didn't it?
So is your argument that we don't need to intentionally tank because you never know if that works out, but if it happens, maybe that's okay? Is that what you're saying, Joey?
Well, I'm saying that I don't think it's going to happen regardless because David West and Larry Bird, they just won't do that. You know, those decisions come from the top. They don't come, it's not the players that ever decide these things.
Sure.
You know, like what Philadelphia does is if you have a good player, you just get rid of him, you know?
Right.
And they also got rid of Evan Turner.
He could have helped them. don't know why they got rid of him.
Come on, guys, come on. What did I do?
One other thing about Rudes, real quick, is the international three-point line is not the same as the NBA three-point line. So a lot of people are saying that's affecting his game. You know, he's grown up shooting a certain distance, and the NBA one's a little bit longer. And, you know, when you're a finely tuned machine, you gotta make it a little change.
But why can't he just shoot long twos?
I'm sure he could, but they brought him in as a 3-point. They didn't bring him in as a long two.
Are you saying that he was an engineering experiment by the Croatian government to become the greatest?
I'm not saying that he wasn't. I can neither confirm nor deny your true statement. One of the guys who did not make the team, Rinze Anawaku, he's going to make somebody pretty happy one of these days.
What, does he make you eggs in the morning? How's it going to make me happy?
This gave the Pacers their first loss of the season. I look back to last year. My stat of the week this week is...
Joey, stat of the week!
December 2nd. And that is the date which the Pacers picked up their second loss versus the Trailblazers. So all I'm asking is that the Pacers hold off for a month and a day until they lose another ball game.
That's totally
no
reasonable.
sweat.
No problem.
Yes.
The first half of the season last year was I forget how good they were and how just dominant they were. They were winning by, 15, 20 a night for long stretches of the season.
That may have been the most fun I've ever had watching Pacer basketball. I mean, that stretch of basketball was so dominant. It was amazing.
You know what, though? It only took a half for me to be all in on this Pacer team. Went to the game opening night, and by halftime I was like, I'm all in. I love these guys scrapping. I love how much everybody's pulling for Roy. Kind of throwing it together and gutting it out. Like, that stuff is just super fun to me. Like, I'm all in on this team. It's going to be a fun one. Not as much fun as winning, going 20-2 or whatever we did, but still.
Yeah, but they seem very cohesive. In contrast to how the Pacers ended last season, they seem like a fractured team. This team seems much more cohesive.
It seems like the guys want to play for each other.
Yeah.
Right? And that's in a team sport, you got to have it. Got to have it.
I would rather watch this team play now than the end of the last season. I don't want to watch that ever again.
I'm with you.
It's kind of brutal.
I think we were pulling for them to get knocked out of the playoffs, so we didn't have to watch them play anymore.
I think that did happen at one point.
Joining me are three analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacer fans? Twice in 1 week. So nice.
If some is good, more is better.
From Raleigh, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? It's Thirsty Thursday. Drink up.
And company from Seattle, Washington, out west, our enforcer, John Harper.
What up, fellas? Inaugural Thursday pod. I'm stoked.
As they've mentioned, this is the first of our new format on Thursdays. We're doing 2 in a week. The first one is the more timely stuff. The second one later in the week is going to be a little more evergreen and a little more analysis, I'd say. A little deeper.
Well, Joey, I love crappy jingles. This is not really a crappy jingle, but one of our
great transitions.
This is our all-star jingle.
It's one of our gimmicks. This is the 2 minutes to. I thought it'd be a nice way to start this conversation about our general impressions, what we're looking for going forward. So 2 minutes on the clock. What do we think? Who do we think is going to be the most important player before West and Hill get back to help the Pacers stay afloat in these early weeks? I don't know. Free for all go? I don't know. One last note on this game. I don't know if anybody noticed that Pero Antich was, what does he have, a broken nose?
He had a mask on.
Oh, yeah, he did have a mask on.
Pero Antich, the Macedonian.
There it is. There it is.
Well played, Coulson. Well played.
You've been driving in that car. You probably the whole trip from Raleigh. You've been thinking of that one, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, the story of this week, I think, is that despite the fact that we're shorthanded, we're staying in these games.
I agree.
We are scrapping it out. But I have some coffee here. I'm not going to give any to the Pacers because coffee is for closers.
He has said, in some of the games, he's getting the feeling that things that he should be doing in the game. He would forget to look at the basket. Well, on offense, he's zoned in on defense.
Was he having dick butterflies?
Cannot speak to that. I need to ban Urban Dictionary from your computers. I don't think he would never choose that for this team, but
choose.
I'm sure the conversation went like that. This week I am drinking again. The black box, couldn't get through it. It's a lot of wine there.
You're slacking there, buddy.
It's like 3 liters of wine. I have other things to do besides.
You still have no idea how much that is.
Clearly, it's a 2-week bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, $20. That's a steal.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
And I did have some Lagunitas last night. You guys speak highly.
That doesn't count. You're not drinking it now.
I'm making conversation.
Just reminiscing over what you drink.
So I give the Lagunitas 2 thumbs up. And Coulson, which one drink are you having this week?
No, I'm triple fisting this week. I've got an Amp Energy. I've got to carefully balance my uppers and downers here. Also have some Early Times whiskey, and as always, the Miller High Life.
Ooh, Miller High Life, sexy.
I wanted to warn the children out there not to listen to anything that John Coulson does.
Yeah, I want to dunk on Joakim Noah. Don't dunk on him. He's gonna feel my pain.
It's like a college basketball Hall of Famer you're talking about.
Standing tall at 7 feet, weighing in at a bruising 275 pounds. Recent addition to the 4-time reigning champions of the Belarus Premier League, BC Smoky Minsk, your former Pacer, and honorary Undebeatable, the White Tower, John Edwards. So John Edwards, Joey's favorite Pacer ever.
I liked him.
His career ended in BC Smoky Mints, as we discussed last season, and I think Jason, did we get a little update on him as far as via LinkedIn?
Well, according to Wikipedia, he is retired from basketball and is pursuing a career in information technology.
So, do you think he was one of the guys that helped land the bot on the Comet? Was that one of those guys?
I don't know that has anything to do with information technology.
Well, they use technology, and they use information.
Yeah, my John Edwards update is that John Edwards just landed something on a comet. So, congratulations, John Edwards.
The White Towel, ladies and gentlemen, the White Towel.
Joining me are 2 of our 3 analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. Missing in action is Jason.
Where is he?
I think he took a vacation to Greece.
Greece?
Yeah, he went to Greece. I don't know much about Greece.
Well. Tell me more. Did he? I don't know the rest of that. That's all I know.
Summer nights.
Excellent. And how do we play teams? What do? We impose our will physically. Okay. And that is about going to Roy down low and beating people up, right? That's what we need to do this year. We need to be tough, maybe even a little nasty. And it's okay to start that right now. It's okay to do that.
Well, let's go do it, Pacers.
Yeah. Let's go get it done.
I'm ready to play.
I can't wait for Tim.
That was a good talk, Coach.
Speaking of that,
Probably.
where's Orlando Johnson?
The Pulp,
son.
He was in Sacramento, but then I think he did not get his contract extended last season.
I believe he is currently playing for Laboral Kutza, which I know I'm saying right because that's my second favorite squad.
Where's Laboral Kutza play?
I'm going to go with Saski Baskonia is their other name. It's a Spanish team from the Basque city of Vitoria-Gasteiz.
Okay. I know where the Basque region is, so it's a real place.
Okay. Harper's not just making up words on the
It's
other
right
end.
next to Hogwarts. Forget about it.
You know what, though? I bet that team has fantastic chemistry.
They probably do.
That's right.
Yes. Their well-known players include Velimir Perisovic, Arvidas Masayauskas. But they actually have had real players. Jose Calderon played for them at one point. Scola played there briefly.
Hey.
Oh,
Goran
yeah.
Dragic.
Maybe Scola put in a good word.
Yeah.
Let me call my guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got a guy in Basque region.
I'm sure that's how that conversation went.
Except it was with a Spanish, an Argentinian accent.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Joey, stat of the week.
Last year, Donald Sloan, not a lot of PT. Now, obviously, with the injury to George Hill, he's playing a ton. So he has improved his points per game 2.3 to 12.7. The single greatest bump from last year to this year.
What, in the history of the NBA?
From last year to this year. It's the single greatest bump in the history of the NBA from last year to this year.
Okay, all right. That's very impressive.
So he's
Is he
about
going
plus
to get
10.
Most improved player, maybe?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he's played very well.
He has. He's been fantastic for us.
I guess you could make an argument if Hill doesn't come back. If Sloan finishes the rest of the season as a starter, I guess that's a good chance. But I don't think that's how they do these things, because the secretive committee that selects these is going to say like he's filling in for an injured George Hill.
Right. He just got more minutes.
Yeah.
Damn stonemasons.
Yeah. So shame on you, stonemasons.
So maybe the question that we should be addressing isn't realignment. It's the draft. It's the lottery system as a whole, right? Is there something that we need to do to change that to create more parity, so that we can somehow disincentivize the horrible tanking that goes on in the East?
Yeah, they've been coming up with these ideas. What was the big...
You have the wheel.
Yeah.
Which essentially just randomly distributes...
Wheel of Fortune!
It is. Or disfortune. Depending.
Sure. But that reminds me of Vanna White. She said her favorite missed clue of all time. So there was a couple spaces empty, and the guy hits the buzzer and he goes, "I'd like to solve, Pat." Whatever. And he goes, "More fun than a barrel of donkeys."
Which is probably true.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, does that make any less sense, really, than a barrel of monkeys?
Maybe not. But that's not...
Monkeys are funnier than donkeys. I'll have to give you that.
Monkeys dressed up like people are really funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, where were you going with this?
We just couldn't hit jump shots. We just can't hit shots.
Yeah, we were kind of like, both teams were like an Antonio Vivaldi composition. Baroque.
Oh, man.
How long you had that in your pocket? How long?
Working on that all week. Yep.
I was really disappointed because I bought one of those CJ Miles fatheads and it was just regular size.
I retract. A week ago, my opinion was that CJ Miles should be out of the rotation, but the more I watch Chris Copeland play defense, the more and more I like the way CJ Miles shoots errant jumpers.
Yes. His brand of errant jumper is much more pleasing to the eye.
Oh, God. This is just awful. How many in a row is that we lost?
It's 8 in a row.
8 in a row.
And I tell you what, Roy Hibbert is essentially just disappeared.
I thought he started out well in this game, actually. You know, I mean, he looked all right for the first half of the first quarter, and I was excited. And then...
So the first eighth of the game.
6 solid minutes of basketball from the big guy.
I mean, that's pretty much how I felt about it. And then, you know, I mean, he gave you a double-double, but my
Ended up with
goodness.
10 and 10.
Yeah.
Take a little swag out of that pee.
Well said, Jim.
Where does the P come from in Swaggy P? What does that stand for?
Pimp.
I guess that's better than Nicky Y.
Yeah, but that's what Laker fans call him most time at the bar. Nicky, why?
Are we anxious to make trades and blow this thing up?
The only way that we could even get Joe Johnson on our team involves a trade with Roy Hibbert.
At this point, I might trade him for $1. I mean, because at least you get 4 good quarters out of $1. You know, I mean, like he's
Oh, you've been reading a joke books recently?
What would you trade him for?
No, I love Roy. You know, I love Roy. He's having a rough start to the season. And he's still a special defensive player. I just this is not going well. I know it's early. Coach can't even figure out a starting lineup. There's a ton of reasons to be patient here, but there's an opportunity to blow it up, and that would be an opportunity.
Well, right. But the largest reason to be patient is named Paul George.
Right.
And I think that any conversation about blowing things up is premature this guy's a top 10 talent. Just sitting over on the sideline, right? Waiting to get healthy.
So, Colson, you want to talk a little love to the Pacers,
Yeah,
is that right?
I mean, the thing is, you can tell him a little... No, you guys could tell I'm a little down on him. I've listened to last week's pod, and we were kind of beating up on him. We've done that a little bit this week. I think they need probably less negative energy from us and more positive energy from us. So I feel like I need to turn over a new leaf as an analyst. So instead of saying, hey, we should blow it up or let's trade guys, I'm going to stop doing that stuff. I've got hope for Cope, you know?
So what you're telling me is you're going to stop being an analyst and start being a cheerleader.
That's right. Attaboy, Lavoy.
4 minutes ago, you wanted to blow the team up.
No, I didn't want to blow it up.
Your words, sir. Your words.
I'll edit that out in post. Don't you worry.
Well played, Colson. Well played.
I don't know. I just feel like the guys listen to the show and they probably get down on themselves when we're beating up on them. And I want to say things like "Attaboy, Lavoy," you're the best, West. Your head isn't so small, CJ.
That doesn't rhyme, though.
I know. I worked a long time to try to figure out how to make that one rhyme, and I couldn't. It's...
Good effort. I'm glad that was the third one on your list. Was the one that we worked a long time but couldn't make it
building
rhyme.
to the climax, clearly.
That's right. And Solomon Hill knows that we care about him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Solomon Hill is for real. No?
That's better than mine. That's good. Let's go with that. Anybody else got any? Anybody else?
I would like to say hola to Luis Scola. I would like to give the Pacers unconditional love, I guess, because they need it right now.
It's the greatest gift you can give.
Yeah.
Little Pacer mistletoe.
It's been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah.
How are the Indiana Pacers like a possum?
How are they like a possum?
They play dead at home and get killed on the road.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've not given your unconditional love.
No, I didn't agree to that.
I'm not wed to Roy Hibbert by any means.
I thought I saw a ring.
No.
You didn't put a ring on it?
Nope.
Big mistake, Roy. Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Missed your window.
Well, why would you buy the cow if you get the milk for free?
A lot of milk.
A lot of milk. You're welcome, Roy.
You guys,
What is up, Pacer Nation? Merry Christmas. We did miss last week, which we haven't done before, I don't think, missed a week during the season. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, did Paul George take off time from rehab on Christmas? Probably not. But the real question you have to ask yourself is, did Michelangelo take Christmas off when he was painting the Sistine Chapel? I mean, did Wilbur and Orville Redenbacher take time off in their pursuit of flight? You know,
Redenbacher?
Was that the Wright brothers? Are we talking about popcorn here?
Did the Hunchback of Notre Dame take time off when he was building his cathedral? I mean, this is you can't rush artistic genius. Sometimes you need a break.
So you're saying we should go faster?
Those are the most apt analogies I've ever heard in my life. And also, shout out to Luol Deng, who had a great game on Christmas Day, and apparently is not dead, as I thought he was earlier.
You described him in an email to me in a fantasy basketball trade as Luol Deng's carcass.
Apparently he's back, baby.
So you're reconsidering that trade. If we continue to execute the way we've been executing, then we should get some good looks, and it shouldn't be that difficult to score the basketball.
Let's get a W then.
I want to see some solid executions this year.
Let's do it.
No, that's not what you mean.
On the basketball floor.
Okay. No, that's not what you mean either.
You know what I mean. We're good, right?
Yeah.
We're good. We're not threatening anybody, right?
I feel like we might have.
No. We're good. We're all good.
What's up, NSA?
Exactly.
December 31st, New Year's Eve, daytime game.
Baby race!
There was a baby race.
Baby race, baby!
I gotta get that posted up on the YouTube.
Yeah, you do. But this is the first baby race that's been rigged, which is it's. I'm not sure how I feel about this. For all the gamblers out there, they might lose trust in the baby race.
How was it rigged? What do you mean?
Well,
was there a baby on steroids?
No, but there was a baby with maybe some insider information.
So there's 10 babies in the baby race.
There's 10 babies in a baby race?
In this baby race, I think normally the normal
5.
number is 5.
Yeah.
Your
Is
standard
insider
baby
information for a baby just information?
Well, so the baby race started off like every
Object
baby race
permanence
does.
is insider information.
Cheater.
Babies, most of the babies just sit there and do nothing as they do.
That's what's so great about the baby race.
But
It's
you
not
get
really a race.
A couple babies go. So there's 3 babies that are
sort of going for it,
competing. I'd
Right.
say. I'd say the top tier babies. And
the babies with the big contracts.
It was a contract year for these babies.
They've all been signed by Man U.
So the race finishes it up. It was a pretty tight race. But the father of the winning baby, we see him on the big screen. It's Josh Corbeil. He's the trainer for the team.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh is the right answer to that. So what we can only assume and wildly speculate happened is that he had probably 5 to 10 years with this baby training.
Well, okay, the baby's only like 2.
Yeah.
Did you see the baby?
He might have genetically modified his baby. Someone call social services.
I'm thinking maybe not 5 to 10 years. He may have taken his baby out there to take a few trial runs in it.
Yeah, practice. The other babies don't get to practice.
Right.
They don't get to know the lay of the land, know the court.
It was familiar with the hard court.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. It was comfortable in this environment.
Somebody had to raise the bar.
I just don't know. I feel like the integrity of the game has changed.
You had a loss of innocence, along with all those babies involved in the baby race.
12/31/14. Never forget.
For the last 20 years, there's been a really talented and influential sports broadcaster in our lives, and Stuart Scott died today. So, shout out to his family, and our thoughts are with his family. So,
yeah, Stuart Scott, man, what a phenomenal guy. He's in, for me, the echelon of the Howard Cosell's and Al Michaels of the world. Really transitional figure in how we think about sports today, and as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
The Pacers are only the second team in NBA history to have 9 or more players average 9 or more points on average. The only other team...
A lot of nines.
A lot of averages.
No, I love this stat.
The only other team is the 1967-1968 San Diego Rockets, who had 9.
Was that a team?
Apparently.
I guess they moved to Houston later?
Probably. They probably boosted over to Houston and stayed there.
There was also the San Diego Clippers.
Yeah.
San Diego can't hold on to a team, apparently.
Yeah, why would they be named the Rockets in San Diego?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, because the Rockets make sense for Houston, right? Because NASA's there and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not made up?
Both the stat and this team are either one of those made up.
No, this stat's fantastic. So even without A.J. Price and George Hill not counting statistically, we still have 9 guys averaging over 9 points.
Correct.
That's freaking awesome.
And so George Hill's got 14.2. David West is the eligible leader, 12.1 PPGs.
I think the verdict is out on whether that is awesome or not. Can anybody tell me what the record was of the 1966-67 San Diego Rockets?
So the 1967-1968 San Diego Rockets were 15-67.
Ooh.
They finished 6th in the Western Division.
Of which there were 6 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. John Block was your lead team leader with 20 points a game.
Yeah.
Pat Riley was on that team and was not one of the guys that averaged over 9 points. He averaged 7.9 points a game.
Way to go, Pat Riley.
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't recognize any other names on that list. They did only win 15 games, and they're a made-up team. So
they're not a made-up team.
And by the way, my stat of the week is that John Block had 0 blocks per game.
Don't judge a book by its cover. That's the moral of the story, podcast listeners.
In John Block's defense, they did not...
Yeah, they were not tracking blocks back then. I just think if we just get the Undebeatables listenership to vote early and often, we can get Roy Hibbert more than Nikola Mirotic.
Okay, that'll be our goal.
I like that.
That'll be our goal.
That's right.
You can vote. You can vote on the mobile app, the NBA Game Time app. I think you can vote on Twitter. You can text in your votes. Probably strongly worded letters.
Sure. I think if you just type in double nickel.
Yeah, they don't even have... You remember when we were kids and you would go to the game and they had the paper ballot and you would punch through and you'd have hanging chads and stuff. And you'd put it in the box.
I wonder how many of our listeners know what a hanging chad is.
What do you think, our listenership is like 14?
I think that our target demo is 7 to 150.
I would definitely not look up hanging chad on Urban Dictionary.
One last note on this game. This was Jan Mahimny's first game back after missing nearly 20 games, and
4 glorious minutes.
He did. I was glad to see him out there. So I gave him a call after the game, and got an interview with him. So I'm going to go ahead and press play on this and let you listen to my interview. So, Jan, the Pacers just lost to arguably the worst team in the NBA. Does that make the Pacers the worst team? Get that shit out of here. The NBA is a Tour de France, not an afternoon bike ride. We are a young team. There is a saying in France, young wine is merde. Okay, yeah, the 76ers are considerably younger than the Pacers. The Pacers are, how do you say, like a shark. If you stop living, you die. Okay. With the recent bad losses against the Lakers and the 76ers, do you feel like the Pacers can still make the playoffs? We have confidence in the team. Coach Vogel keeps us focused. He is like a French poodle. He is proud and does not shed. Thank you for your time, Jan. One last question. Does my injury affect the Yinkadare Cup? Well, you actually haven't qualified right now for the Yinkadare Cup. You have to play at least 500 minutes. Just get that shit out of here. Tyler Hansbrough is, how you say, a little bitch. I agree, Jan. The Undebeatables look forward to seeing you more on the court this season. Thanks so much.
Wow, that was a exclusive interview.
I know, a long interview with him.
He was very candid.
Yeah. It sounded like he was maybe eating during that interview. Did you catch him at dinner?
I don't know. I call him. It was
I see.
Cell phone. Who knows? Probably
Right.
eating dinner. Yeah.
Young wine. It's so marred. I know we all have the box score in front of us, so it's not so fun, but I really want to play a game of Philadelphia 76er or fictional, like, Kurt Vonnegut character.
I don't have the box score in front of me, so I'll play.
Jakar Sampson.
That's made up.
Nope, he's a real guy. He played 19 minutes.
Did he
went
really?
4 for 4 and scored 9 points against us.
Wow.
Okay, so the Pacers now have lost 4 straight games. What are we making of this team? Are you in panic mode yet? You know, now we're 2.5 games out of the playoffs, which we had said was a big goal of ours. As this team is currently playing, I don't see us climbing up that far. Do you? What's the diagnosis here?
Big thing for me is, you know, I was hoping that we will get a little bit more development out of what's in many ways kind of a lost season here, but I don't feel like Solo's making the sort of jumps that he was early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure that the Sloan Ranger is going to be a long-term solution for anybody in this league. And there still doesn't seem to be a whole lot of cohesion out there as far as, you know, an understanding of what we're trying to do as a team. So more than anything, it's just made me question Vogel. I thought he had a legitimate chance at Coach of the Year this year if he could get us into the playoffs. But it hasn't been all that impressive thus far.
Correct.
You guys should shut up, and I will do my stat of the week.
I think that's totally fair.
It's good to have you back, Joe.
We missed you, brother.
Thank God. We need structure
in my life.
So in this Miami game, the Pacers put up 37 points in the first half. Not great, you know. We definitely would like a little bit better out of that. Look, edging towards the 50 mark would be nice.
That would be nice.
37 points was also hit by another team this week. I'm sorry, it was by a player. Klay Thompson put 37 points in the third quarter on Friday night against the Sacramento Kings, which is an NBA all-time record for points in a quarter by a single player.
Also realized I failed to shout out last week because we weren't sure we were going to have it up in time for the show, but Scoot Dubs, we got a new intro, and it's awesome.
Whoop.
Yeah. Shout out. And shout out to Colson for the edit.
No, I'm not giving him that.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's all about the beat.
The sick beats.
Yeah.
Did you make that on your dinner box?
Yeah, so just prepare to.
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet box with them.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just like jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to.
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbeatable goodness.
Also, I want to say, give a shout out to the Undebeatables, which would be us. We just had our 2-year anniversary.
Hey!
It flew right by us. January 20th is the anniversary of episode 1.
Sweet. Is that
Feel like it was...
Is that wood? What is the second anniversary? Paper?
I think the first one's paper.
No, I think it's tequila.
Interesting.
Joey, you got a favorite episode?
Well, that's
Every week is torture for Joe with us.
Well, I feel like the episodes are like my children, in that I don't like them.
Check, make check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're in Miami Beach, Florida. It's approximately 80 degrees. It's January 23rd. We're at the kitchen. Yeah. We just drank 4 gallons of Corona that were $16 a piece.
But I mean, totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
I mean, if you drink 2 gallons apiece, that's worth $16, right?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. You do the math.
So, what do you think a one of those buckets of mojito is?
It's got to be $30. But I mean, if it's anything like the mojito we had at our
it's
local
nothing
bar,
like the mojito we had.
It's really good at our local bar. She took her time, hand pressed that. That was delicious.
We may delay our departure to Orlando until after 8 o'clock tomorrow, so we can get happy hour at our hotel.
Potentially
for $0.
For $0 mojitos.
Right. Like I said, it's weird. It's like there's parts of it that are just amazing. Right? Obviously, the weather, the beach is there, the beautiful women walking by. Yeah. The architecture actually here on Ocean Drive is nice. The Art Deco and pastels and all this stuff. But then you drive around at night and it's just like it's nightclub after nightclub and
which is
douchebag after douchebag.
If you're into that.
Right, but what I'm saying is I'm not, and it's kind of my personal hell. So
did you see the guy with all the body art that was wearing the open vest? Because I thought to myself as he walked by is that guy probably only owns open vests. Like every morning he wakes up and he's like, I have to wear something that's going to show off all this thousands of dollars of body art.
Yeah. Do you think he shops at? Do you think he goes to like outlet stores and gets vests without buttons, like they were manufactured without buttons?
Or do you think
so they can't even close, even if you wanted to?
I think
even if there's a Zephyr,
if there's a sale on vests with buttons, he may buy them and then rip the buttons off. Yeah. So basically, our team is kind of who we thought they were going to be, without your 2 best players, which is Paul George and George Hill.
Right.
They're kind of all sort of a mismatch. I mean, and it's frustrating to kind of see all these pieces that could be pieces on a good team, but not if you don't have the 2 leaders on your team.
Right.
And I really thought somebody was going to step up. I really thought it was going to get figured out. I thought this would be a chance for Hibbert to shine or whatever, or for Solo to totally adjust to the speed and length of an NBA season, which is probably too much to ask.
Oh, I think that takes a whole season to do.
Yeah, and he's not figured it out yet. So for a once and always coach,
sure,
Bobby Slick Leonard, turn out the lights, party's over.
I think the neighbors are already
they love
calling
us.
The front desk.
Why is there a dead cat? Wait, no, I guess there wouldn't be a dead cat. Dead cat. Here's my impression of a dead cat.
Spot on.
Thank you.
I've been working on
He had
that.
the ears and everything.
They also don't have a hot tub.
And won't let us swim in the pool.
"Quote-unquote 3-star hotel."
And won't let us swim in the pool until 6 a.m. So either I'm staying up all night or we're setting an alarm.
But the pool is cold, I think.
And?
You don't want to do that.
And?
Whatever, it's your call.
Take a hot shower.
You take a hot shower. I'm getting nice.
You take a hot shower. Get some ice so we can drink some whiskey.
Hot shower.
That was the name of a band in high school?
Since 1967, blah, 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 Einstein, blah, 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 cesium has been widely used in atomic clocks. Cesium. Cesium. I said it right. I always had it right.
This all does sort of beg the question, is Del Curry a legend?
Oh, excellent point. Is Penny Hardaway a legend?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
He had his
I
own
don't know.
commercials and stuff.
Yeah, just because you had commercials doesn't mean you're a legend. He didn't have that long a career, and it wasn't that successful. Sorry. Just putting that out there.
Wow. Cut to Penny Hardaway going, what did I do?
Yeah, no doubt.
Come on, he went to the finals with Shaq once. That happened. Besides that, he's not very good.
According to Colson, it's Anthony Halfpants Hardaway.
All right. Let me get my lube on.
Wow.
Oh, God, don't put that in there.
Too late now, buddy.
No. Oh, my recording messed up. We got to start over. Other notable players, owner of the Grizzlies, Memphis Grizzlies, Robert Pera. This guy can dunk, and he's not a bad player.
Dude.
But,
The Chief?
Wait.
What?
The owner of the Grizzlies can dunk?
Yeah, he can dunk.
How old is this man?
He's like 36.
I have done terrible things with my life. No, seriously.
Wait, because you can't dunk?
No, well, okay, yes. And also because I don't own an NBA team by 36, apparently.
Right.
Well, no, there's still time. I got
1 year. 1 year.
I got a year.
No.
No, you don't.
You got a month, bro.
Damn it. I got a couple months. Leave me alone. There's still time to own the Pacers. Start a Kickstarter.
Have you ever been to Kickstarter?
No, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what it does. There's a chance here, the way that Hill is playing, with Paul George coming back, we could actually make a scary run in the playoffs. I don't think there's a team in the East, I don't care if it's Chicago or Cleveland, Toronto, Atlanta, that wants to play us. If we can get ourselves in the playoffs, I think we're a dangerous out. And that's fun. That's exciting.
They need to be the underdogs to be successful. And now's a good time to do it.
Do you think this team, should they squeak into the playoffs, which is, we don't even know if that's going to happen yet, they're no more than a scare for a first-round team, right? Like, there's no way they're making a deep run.
Why not? Why not?
They can't close games.
Well, yeah. We don't know how to win close
Here's the
games.
deal. This team has been to the Eastern Conference Finals the last 2 years. It knows how to win games. We've lost a top 10 player in the NBA who will be returning. We spent most of the season without our...
As not a top 10 player.
Well, we don't know that.
I know that.
No, we know that. He's not going to come back in top 10.
No, but what I'm saying is he still is going to be a difference maker. And also, we were without our second best player for most of the season. Name is George Hill. Now that he's back, suddenly we look good. This section that we've talked about, the turning point is him coming back as a starter. I think...
They couldn't even beat the Spurs, man.
What do you mean they couldn't even beat the Spurs? That's a ridiculous argument.
Did I just get presented something?
No, Pacers make the playoffs, and they're going to get the second round. That's what that is.
That's bold. Wow. That's bold.
That's how I feel about it.
I think you might have jingled a little bit prematurely there, buddy.
Not the first time it's happened. Just ask Kyle.
And this is episode. What was it? What 2-digit number is this episode?
It's got to be 90 something, right?
Yeah, 90. Let me look this. It's episode 100. 100.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, shout out 100.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Boys, congratulations. 100. It's a watermark I never thought we would see. So it's a testament to our ability to ignore the lack of listeners that we have and just push forward. Do our
most
thing.
of the listeners that we do have.
Right. That beg us. Stop. Please stop.
Please stop.
You guys going to get out of here?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Until next time, you can find us on Twitter. We are at Undebeatables. You can find us at facebook.com/theundebeatables. Give us a little thumbs up there. You can find us on theundebeatables.com. There's a contact form if you want to send in some questions. Review us on iTunes. It really helps new listeners find our show. Shirts are still available for purchase on the website.
And as previously mentioned, we got a recording from Jan Mahimia to close out the show for us. So for our once and always coach, Bobby Slick Leonard, turn out the light.
Ooh.
The party is over.
Oh boy.
Apparently, I'm having trouble singing with the French accent.
We noticed.
I just want to say to all of the Pacer Nation that's still listened after 100 games, this is the one thing we've gotten
We
sort
call
of
them
right.
episodes.
You're welcome.
Actually, in honor of the All-Star game, I called up Prokhorov to do the outro song today. So let me press my recording here. In honor of our once and always coach, Bobby Slick Leonard, turn out the lights. The parties. I can't do accents and sing at the same time. It's just so.
You're never going to make it in this business, buddy.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
There you go.
Got a little Kermity there.
Do it. Just do it fast.
Kermity Frog here.
Kermity Frog. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, you should call Kermit to have him sing.
Turn out the lights. Party's over.
I see him sitting on a log. Doing that.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? That's all I got.
No, I want more.
What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing?
Oh, your neighbors must think you're a crazy person.
Think we might see. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers.
The dreamers
and me.
So, game of the week at Philadelphia, Friday, February 20th.
And you might be there?
Maybe. I don't know. It's not that far away.
East Coast is like, everything's right next to each other.
You should take a train or something, right?
Yeah.
I could take a train.
I wish we had trains here. What do we do?
We're doing a good job previewing this game. So it'll be games out of the All-Star break are always interesting.
Awesome.
Because we'll be coming off 9 days of rest. So the rust factor will be involved. We're taking on a Philly team that also had no All-Stars, so they'll be just as rusty.
I mean, screw Philly. What'd they do besides be the city of brotherly love?
They gave us Rocky.
And
Good movie.
Liberty Bell.
Sure. It's cracked, though. I mean, come on.
But Rocky lost.
Yeah, exactly. So all these things, they should just lose.
It's good pep talk.
That's how we roll.
You guys going to get out of here?
Yes, please.